Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. Those of you on TikTok, YouTube, and Facebook platforms. I'm Tyrone Clay 213 on TikTok and Mr. Clay on YouTube. Yes, we're coming from Deuteronomy Chapter 17, the 17th chapter of Deuteronomy. Let us pray. Oh, most holy, I am that I am, the Spirit that moves upon the water, even that great Spirit. We thank you for all that you've done. We thank you for your mercy. We thank you for your favor. We thank you how you're just showing us your laws, your statutes, and your ordinances, and telling us that we need to get this thing right. Oh, most holy Sanini Nanini, we ask you to deal with our hearts, that will open our eyes, that we might see what has been put before us and what is put for our stumbling blocks. Yes, and we ask you to deal with our hearts and minds, that we might be pleasing unto you and your laws, statutes, and commandments, even judgments. And we ask you to deal with our enemies even as we walk to you, that we might be at peace with our enemies, just as King Solomon was at peace with those that were around him. And he had no war for a long time, because for a while he did that which was right in your sight. Yes, and we thank you for all that you do and for all that you do. And we give you the glory and the praise. Yes. Yes. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. We're in Deuteronomy chapter 17, the 17th chapter of Deuteronomy, and it reads, Thou shalt not sacrifice unto the I am thy God any bullock or sheep wherein is blemish or any ill-favoredness, for that is an abomination unto the I am thy God. In other words, no scratches, no scars, no scrapes. Okay? He says, If there be found among you within any of thy gates which the I am thy God have given thee, man or woman that hath wrought wickedness in the sight of the I am, in transgressing his covenant, and hath gone and served other gods and worshipped them, either the sun or the moon or any of the host of heaven, which I have not commanded. Did he command you to worship Yahweh? Did he command you to worship Jesus? Did he command you to worship these things? These things were put before you as a stumbling block. God does not change. He said any of the host of heaven. Yes, this entity was there in the book of Daniel. He was there. That's why he says, my people are destroyed for lack of knowledge. You don't know who you worship. You don't know who you call on. You call on either the Father or the Father of spirits or the Creator, but not that which is created. Even they will tell you, do not get up. Now, and it be told thee that thou hast heard of it and inquired diligently, and behold, it be true, and the thing certain, that such an abomination is wrought in Israel. Then shalt thou bring forth that man or that woman which have committed that wicked thing unto thy gates, even that man or that woman that shall stone them with stones till they die. Right now, many of us we are in ignorance. We've been blinded by oppressors and colonizers. We've been blinded by our own concoctions. Where are you going to get a black Jesus from, or a black Messiah? How do you know how he look? You're creating an idol right there. I don't care how you try to explain it. You just creating it. I don't care how you do it. Now, he said, at the mouth of 2 or 3 witnesses, he that is worthy of death be put to death. But at the mouth of 1 witness, he shall not be put to death. In other words, you got the heathen, one woman speaks and holler a certain thing, and they ready to delete that person. But God says, no, not so in Israel. This shall not be. We're not going by the word of one person. He says, now, the hands of the witnesses shall be first put upon him to put him to death, and after it the hands of all the people. So thou shalt put the evil away from among you. If there rise a matter too hard for thee in judgment, between blood and blood, plea and plea, between stroke and stroke, being matters of controversy within thy gates, then thou shalt arise and get thee up into a place where the I am thy God shall choose. And thou shalt come unto the priests, the Levites, unto the judge that shall be in those days, and inquire, that they shall show thee the sentence of judgment. And thou shalt do according to the sentence which they of that place which the I am shall choose to show thee. And thou shalt observe to do according to all that they inform thee, and according to the sentence of the law which they shall teach thee, and according to the judgment which they shall tell thee, thou shalt do. Thou shalt not decline from the sentence which they shall show thee to the right hand nor to the left. God has given you his law. He even took in the heathen that think they just mangled it all up, and he opened the eyes of his people, and he shows you plainly what it will take to please him. No, you can't sacrifice animals and bullock, because it's legally in many places impossible, and then it's impossible because of how they cornered all the animals that are to be sacrificed. I mean, you ain't gonna go get a sliced steak sliced by a heathen and not by a Levitical priest, or not by your hands which you have washed, and you were unclean and you became clean after the even. No, you can't do that. So how did they do it when they were in captivity before? They just didn't do it. They just asked God to forgive them and prayed that God will restore all things. And the man that will do presumptuously and will not hearken unto the priest that standeth to minister, therefore the I am thy God, or judge, or unto the judge, even that man shall die. And thou shalt put away the evil from Israel. In other words, he's going to read from the law, and he's going to tell you what's going on. The priest and the judge is going to hear too. And they're going to make a judgment. And he says, look, he said, you will hearken, you will do what they tell you to do, even if it means your deletion. You're going to tell you. Now, in 13th verse, and all the people shall hear and fear and do no more presumptuously. This is the reason for punishment. That those who see and onlook the punishment of one who was stubborn and ignorant, or stubborn, should I say, then they will say, oh, that's not good to do that. I'm not doing it. God doesn't like it. And when thou art come into the land which the I am thy God giveth thee, thou shalt possess it, and shalt dwell therein, and shall say, I will set a king over me, like as all the nations that are about me. See, God already knew this was going to happen. He already knew their heart. He already knew they would follow other nations in what they do. Although they did not really recognize God as a king. God is the king of Israel. God is the king of glory. Yes, we're not talking about no Isis. The king of glory shall come in. That's God. That's the Most High. That's the creator of all spirits. Yes, but he shall not multiply horses unto himself, nor cause the people to return to Egypt. No, that's calls for a coup. That's called for a revolution. He has to come down. To the end that he should multiply horses, for as much as the I am has said unto you, ye shall henceforth return no more that way. Neither shall he multiply wives. He's talking about a bunch of wives. It's not that he can't have one or two, maybe 3 wives. But he said, multiply wives unto himself, that his heart turn not away. Neither shall he greatly multiply himself silver and gold. And he said the king can live all right. He can have a few wives. But he's saying, you're not going to go excessive with this. No, don't do that. And it shall be just like you saw in one of the countries where the leader had tons of bucks and dollars and currency in his house. No, God says, no, not so in Israel. No, not so among the Bantu. This is not going to happen. And God bless those who would take that money back and give it to the people. Now, it shall be when he sitteth upon the throne of his kingdom, he shall write and copy a copy of this law in the book out of that which is before the priests and Levites. And it shall be with him, and he shall read therein all the days of his life, that he may learn to fear the I am his God, and to keep all the words of this law, these statutes, and do them. That is in his heart. And be not lifted up above his brethren, that he turn not aside from the commandment to the right hand or to the left, to the end that he may prolong his days in his kingdom and his children in the midst of Israel. See, God already had that mapped out. He already had it mapped out for you, and you. And he says, this is the law. This is the way you're going to do it. And with that, I'm going to say, peace.